Hey guys, Thaden here. I'm going to be making this video today as promised in order to show you guys how to set up a weak aura as a warning for the Twilight Barrage stacks for Heroic Blackhorn. So since I can't actually get into the raid instance to do this, I'm going to be kind of just showing you on my shaman how it would work in theory, and I'm going to show you exactly how to create the weak aura, and then you'll just have to change in your own implementation. You'll have to put in the actual name of the debuff. So first off, make sure you go ahead and download WeakAuras. If you don't have it downloaded, you can check out my other video. I have a review on how it works basically, and you can see in there I do another video with my shaman, and it shows how to set it up with tidal waves and things like that. But I'm going to show you now kind of how you would take that and apply it to the Blackhorn encounter. So once you have WeakAuras set up, go ahead and get it open, do /WeakAuras, and come up here and hit new. First off, I'm going to make a group because we're going to need two separate auras here because I want to have one as a warning. When you have one stack to say it's kind of a caution, and then I want to have a separate one that when you have two or more stacks to give you, a big oh crap kind of warning. So we'll go ahead and make a group, and it's Twilight Barrage that we're looking for. Since that's going to be kind of a long name, I'm just going to shorten it to just TB group for Twilight Barrage. And let's come back to new, and let's go ahead and create the first aura. So you want to pick texture as your type, and then you're going to want to choose your icon. For the icon that I chose, I went to Power Auras Icons, and if you scroll down, there is one here. Where is it? There it is. It's just an exclamation point. Now, since this is like a caution rather than a warning, you want to set it as yellow. Let me pick one like that. Okay. Okay. In terms of its width and height, I think the default is pretty good. For the X and Y offset, you don't want it directly on top of your character, so set the Y offset to about 200, and it'll show up above your character. Alright, as for the trigger, now here's where you're going to have to change things just a little bit. What you're going to do is you're going to come to aura name, and you're going to type in Twilight Barrage, and click OK. And you see it found it here. And the aura type is going to be a debuff. And then you want to say when stat count is equal to 1. Okay? Alright, load. This is going to say when do you want this aura to actually be active. There are a variety of situations. You'll probably want it only active while you're in combat, number 1. And then if you come down here, there is instance type and dungeon difficulty. So for instance type, you're going to want to select 10-man raid. And then for dungeon difficulty, you're going to want to select heroic. So this isn't going to show up on a regular Blackhorn. It should only show up while we're doing it in Dragon Soul on heroic. Now, if for some reason it's not showing up for you, you can try toggling these, just to have it show up anytime you're in there. Okay, as for the actions, we're going to want to set up a chat message. Blizzard combat text means it's going to show up for you rather than saying it to the party or something like that. For the color, we're also going to keep that bright yellow. And for the message, we're going to say caution, 1 stack, exclamation. Alrighty. And we're not going to bother playing a sound or highlighting any buttons for it. For the animations, we'll go to preset. For the start, we'll do fade in. For finish, we'll do fade out. And then for the main animation, we're going to do a pulse. You see it'll just be kind of pulsing like that. Let me go back to my display for just a second. I don't quite like that color yellow. I want to brighten it up just a little bit. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to name it TB caution. Now you see, as soon as I went to the load and I had changed it to 10-man raid and heroic, it ended up showing down here in this section of unloaded WeakAuras that I have. So for the purpose of testing it, we'll just temporarily disable those requirements. That way it'll already be loaded. Now also, in order to test it, like I said, since we can't be in the dungeon right now, what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to temporarily just set this to look for the Tidal Waves Shaman buff rather than the Twilight Barrage debuff, and it will still simulate the similar experience that you'll have. So let me go ahead and close it out and get my Tidal Waves up. Now right now I have 2 stacks, but if I go ahead and use up 1 stack, I hope it should trigger this WeakAura. Okay, let's see here. We didn't get it, so we might have made a mistake. Oh yes, we said in combat only, so it didn't show up. So let me disable that and we'll try it again. Alright, there we go. So you see the exclamation point, it gave you the 1 stack warning, and now it's going to stay up here and it's going to be pulsing. And this is just like you'll see in the fight. It'll keep pulsing until your debuff drops off. Okay, and then it goes away. Now, what we can do is we can kind of enhance that just a little bit to give you a little bit more information. So if you come back to the Actions tab and go down to On Hide, we can do another Blizzard Combat text message and color it green. And you can just have it say stacks clear. Okay, so now let's simulate that again. Get to 1 stack of tidal waves. Alright, it tells us caution 1 stack. And then in 7 seconds, once it goes away, hopefully it should say stacks clear. And there we go. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to set this back to the way we had it originally. Twilight Barrage, and it is a debuff. And we're going to want it. We'll leave the load whenever, because you're probably only going to get it whenever you're doing Blackhorn anyway. Okay, so now we're going to create a new one, and this will also be a texture, and we'll call it TB warning. So this is going to be your kind of oh crap one. And for your icon, go to Power Auras icons. And if you go to the top, there's this kind of skull and crossbones. Alternatively, there's a big red X down here. You could use that too. I'm just going to pick the skull and crossbones, and then I'm going to set the color to bright red. For the Y offset, again, we'll set that to 200 so it shows up above your head. Adjust the color a little bit. Okay, now we're going to set the trigger again to Twilight Barrage. It is a debuff, and our stack count, we want it to show up anytime it's greater than or equal to 2 stacks. We'll leave the load settings for now. Alright, for your chat message for on show, we're going to do Blizzard Combat text, and this time we'll make it red since it's your oh crap message. And you're going to say, warning, too many stacks, don't soak, exclamation. Now alternatively here, you can also add a sound if you want. I would recommend the air horn if you're going to do that. I know for some fights, if you're looking at other things, sometimes an audible cue might be a little bit nicer. So you can do that. If you find it too annoying, you can just go with the visual. On hide, we'll do another Blizzard Combat text chat message. This is going to be green, and this is going to say stacks clear. And so that way you know you're good to go again. For the animations, we'll do the same thing as we did on the last one. We'll do fade in and fade out, and we will set it to pulse. Okay. Now, again, for testing, I'm going to temporarily set it to tidal waves, and you'll want to change that back. And tidal waves, and it's a buff. Okay, so now hopefully, there you go. Warning, too many stacks, don't soak. And then this is going to stay up here. And then we can try out our other one with only one stack. If I go ahead and use up a stack. Oh, we set it back, didn't we? All right, let me temporarily put them both as tidal waves. And we'll all change these back in a second. Okay. Too many stacks, don't soak. Let's use one up. Now it should give us the one stack caution. There you go. And then as soon as it goes away, it should say stacks clear. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and set this back to Twilight Barrage. Okay, debuff. On the other one, also Twilight Barrage and debuff. Now you're going to want these both to be in the same group. So in the beginning, we created the TB group. So go ahead and click on the little arrow next to TB caution, and then click on TB group, and it'll stick it inside. And do the same thing on TB warning, stick it inside TB group. If you click on the little plus sign, you can expand it out, and you can see them both there now. There you go. So that should do it. If you want, you can go back in and set your load to, heroic 10-man or only in combat, however you want it to do. But realistically, you're only going to run into that in a 10-man and in combat, so you can or cannot do that. Either way, it shouldn't make a difference. But hopefully that will help you to avoid soaking too many stacks and getting one-shot by them. If you have any questions, just let me know. If you're having difficulty setting it up, I can export this to like a text string, and you can load it directly into your WeakAuras instance. So just let me know if you have any issues with it, and I can get you hooked up. All right, thanks guys. I'll talk to you later.